Just working on random things on my cars. So also another thing is a Suzuki Cara comes with fog lights stuck. That's something an Autozam doesn't get.
That means we get the coveted fog light switch that everybody wants by default.
However, I noticed one of my lights is burned out. Let's take a look at how to replace that real quick. Looks pretty simple. Most of these lights are replaced from the outside. You just take the Phillips head off and then the whole cover just comes off. Let's take a look. Okay. It's just a plastic cover. I don't know if this is the original one, but I bought one that was allegedly for the Cara, and it was a glass one, so it's clearly not the same one. Look, it's just a taillight bulb. Does it twist you? It's just a single filament taillight style bulb. What do they call this? A bayonet style, and then you kind of twist them on. I bought a set of LED bulbs. They're the 1156 style, because there's just one filament. And let's give this a try. Pop this guy back in. And throw the cover on it too. Now turn the lights back on and give it a try. Well, right off the bat, I can already tell the new one's way brighter. Of course, it's an LED, probably with more output, but... Oh, wow. Oh. Okay. That is considerably brighter. Oh. I can't even measure that, but it's so bright, it's starting to look a little bit green rather than yellow, and that one is still like the old school yellow. Maybe that's too bright. Maybe I want to look into a yellow bulb, because I do like the old retro yellow color. So I guess I'm going to replace both sides so it looks even. The thing about these old bulbs are there's actually a significant amount of heat here. I can feel it warming up my hand, but this LED one's nothing. They've been on the same amount of time. This is what it is. It's a Stanley bulb. It's 12 volt. It's 35 watt. I don't know how many watts these things are. These don't say how many watts they are, but surely it's a lot less. There they are, brand new bulbs. It's really bright. I guess with them being the same now, they don't look that bad because it's not as obvious. Here's what it would look like with the lights off. It's pretty good. Yeah, this should have been obvious that this wasn't like mine, just from the pictures. But I got baited. It was 700 yen. It just seemed like it was the right thing, but clearly it's not. Plus the bulb, the way the bulb mounts is completely different in this guy too. But this is glass. I'll just keep it as a souvenir, I guess. I have no idea what this is. Probably goes on a chimney. I don't know what else would have something like this. It can come hang out with my other souvenirs. Right there. Oop. There we go. Alright, on to the next thing. So I had a little issue where I had oil seeping out of here and onto my intake's butt crack here, and I had to wipe it occasionally. Right after I turned up the boost, and what other things did I do? Turned up the boost. Actually, that's all I did. I turned up the boost, and I guess there's probably more pressure now, and there's probably more blow-by or whatever. And it's ended up in here, and it's just seeps down. I've replaced this hose, and it seems to have stopped. I also checked this hose here to my PCV tower thing, and it doesn't seem oily in there, but it might just be a little bit. Maybe it's oil coming from somewhere else. But I'm going to try installing my catch can I just bought. I probably bought one that was way too big. But whatever, this is fine. I gotta figure out where I can mount it. I don't know where to put it right now. I kind of want to put it so it's facing this way with the two pipes, like this. Maybe back here against the body here. The top here, this is a Mishimoto one. It's the extra large, I believe. The top here is adjustable, so like the bracket can kind of pivot with the little thingies here. This one has a baffle on it. And you can see that brass mesh filter doohickey for the outbound side. Intake goes in one side. Oh, right here, it's labeled. Intake goes in one side. The oil will drip from that hole. I don't know if you can see that hole. See the hole right there?
and oil will kind of just drop down that ramp and fall into the tank. And then air coming out would just go through the brass filter and this baffle, and then it'll go back out the way it should go, supposedly oil free. Let's get installing.
They give you this little bracket that comes apart to hold the oil catch can. They give you 2 stainless self-tapping screws. I already center punched it, so I think I'm gonna put mine here, and it'll just kind of hang down that way. This is why I don't like tapping into things. The right screw went righty-loosey, lefty-loosey, and the right one is the only one that actually held on. And it was a self-tapping screw, so, I mean, did I screw it up?
You tell me.
Now you line this back up with the holes. It's a slot up top, so you can just kind of turn it around however you need. I'm gonna start hand threading these back in.
While this is still loose, turn this however you need and however you like. I'm probably gonna have it like this. Seems fair. This will go like that, and then this one will go like that.
Tighten it down and mess it all up while in the process because you only one hand.
Take your canister, screw it in.
Yeah, this was probably way too big. I might get a smaller one.
Get some new clamps. The old ones are too big for this hose, but they're both 1/2 inch inner diameters.
Slip the new hose onto the nozzle there. I'm gonna go this way. It's quite a tight spot back here, so my big pliers had some issues pulling on that to get that in there. But now that it's in there, I should have enough hose to connect to here and back to the intake box. I should have enough. I was probably getting some oil in the intake here. You can see some oil residue right there. And this hopefully will fix this.
So that's pretty simple to install.
Let me push this last hose back in. I used a 1/2 inch inner diameter hose, and this looks to be pretty good.